Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about what kind of videos I enjoy making on this channel, and I've realized I just like ranting to a camera, aka you guys, about something that I am obsessed with currently. So that's what this video is. I've done like a favorites obsessions video prior to this, but today we're gonna do it summer edition, and it's gonna be fun, so stay tuned. And now I will stop rambling and get started. First, I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite things in the entertainment genre. I don't know what to call it. So, y'all heard of Bo Burnham?
You got games on your phone.
If you are on the internet at all, you are probably so sick of hearing about another teenager rant about how much they love Bo Burnham's Inside special, but I don't really care because I love it so much and I want to rant about it. And if you have not heard of it, I can guarantee you 100% you have heard one of his songs on TikTok. Inside is a comedy special that the comedian musician Bo Burnham made. He started making it, I think, right as quarantine started. So he just kind of captured every emotion and experience, I guess, he had while going through quarantine. And what I really love about this special is it kind of ranges from very funny, lighthearted stuff, and then later in the special it gets deep and kind of sad. And I feel like that's what a lot of us went through when quarantine started. We didn't really think too much of it, and we, tried to make the best of it. And then as it went on, we just kind of, got tired of it, and it got kind of sad for a little bit. And I feel like you can tell in the special that Bo Burnham he began to become tired of making this special. So I feel like any artist during that time would begin to become burnt out if all they were talking about was quarantine and having to go through quarantine. It's also not like any comedy special I've ever seen. It's all like one big, highly produced, very high quality YouTube video. You will laugh your head off and probably cry by the end of it. I've always been a fan of Bo Burnham without necessarily knowing I was a fan of Bo Burnham. I've always been obsessed with his vines, and his Art is Dead song is one of my favorite songs ever. And I love his movie 8th Grade, but maybe I'm just dumb, but I just never connected the dots that was all the same person. So yeah, after falling in love with the special, I've been listening to a lot of his music, watching his old YouTube videos, and I'm a very big fan. Next up is a podcast that I just got into. I've only listened to a few episodes, so if I get any of the information wrong, I'm sorry. It is a podcast called Teenager Therapy. It's this group of, I believe, 5 teenagers, and on their Instagram, they describe their podcast as a coming-of-age story portrayed in real time. Their podcast is basically just each episode they have a very open conversation about what it's like to be a teenager during the 21st century. They talk about what it's been like to grow up with social media. They talk about small things like astrology, and then talk about a lot more important things like activism and the LGBT community, climate change, and college. They just talk about all the things that teenagers these days kind of have to not deal with, but just go through, I guess. And I really enjoy it. And obviously they talk about what it's like to be a teenager living through the pandemic. I'm pretty sure they started the podcast during the pandemic. I'm not 100% sure. No, they did not. I just made that up. They started it in like 2018. But yeah, if you're looking for a new podcast, even if you're not a teenager, I feel like you could still enjoy it even if you don't relate to it. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is probably my favorite video game, The Sims 4. In my state, things are opening back up and I'm fully vaccinated, so while I technically can return to normal life, or as normal as it's gonna get, I am a very big introvert and I'm not ready for that. I can't handle with so much social interaction. So I wanted some sort of summer-themed activity to do without having to go outside and I could just sit on my couch and do. So I've always been obsessed with The Sims 4, but I recently bought the Island Living Pack. And they've just been living their best beach life while I'm sitting on my couch, and you know what? It's very fun. And you know, the coronavirus doesn't exist in The Sims. It's an escape. and it's wholesome, and I love it. It's kind of, for me, what Animal Crossing is to a lot of people. I'm just obsessed with just wholesome games that kind of represent real life, or a version of real life, like The Sims, Animal Crossing, Minecraft. So next I want to talk about some music artists that I've been obsessed with. And we're going to talk about another artist that's very hyped up right now, Olivia Rodrigo. I think when she released Good For You is when I just fell in love. I've never even been through a breakup, so I can't really experience the album to its full potential, but that's the thing about being a theater kid. I can act like I've been through a breakup, and I pretend that I'm super mad at somebody, and it looks a little something like this. Also just her style, and she's just such a sweet person. I love teenager artists because while they are famous and stuff, people like her and Conan Gray, even though Conan's not a teenager anymore, you can still see them as teenagers and you can see a bit of yourself in them, and I think that's really cool. Lastly, I have a couple fashion type things to talk about. So first, I just recently got a pair of my first Reeboks. I know Reeboks were really popular, I think the 90s, maybe the 80s, and they're just coming back in style. Really cute, and I've been wanting some like white chunky shoes, but I didn't really like Nike, and I didn't like, what's that brand called? Fila? I forgot what it's called. I'll insert a picture right here. But I think these are a really good in-between version of that. And these have a little iridescent part right here, which I think is cute. And they are very comfortable, so I highly recommend these. And then my other fashion obsession is beaded bracelets. I make these myself. I just get some beads and some elastic from Michaels. It's super easy and cheap. So this one says inside in honor of Burnham. This one says ew David, because I'm a huge fan of the show Schitt's Creek. This one's just rainbow, and I have a few more. I'll do a haul. This one says sour in honor of Olivia Rodrigo. It has these cute hearts on them, and it's just kind of some pastel colors. I have one that says no love because, I don't know, I just think saying love is funny. It's also pastel colors, and it also has these butterfly beads on it. And I have one that says Capricorn because I am a Capricorn. And lastly, I have one that says Bezos because Jeffrey Bezos. But those are all the obsessions I have to talk about in this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give it a like if you did, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!